right, boys and girls, today we're going to be, our objective today is converting customary units of length. And by converting, I mean changing from one unit to another. For example, if you have 72 inches, how many feet does that equal to? Or you have 3 feet, how many inches does that equal to? That's what we call converting. And I'm going to be working from page 477. And 478. And that's what you should be working on today in your book, in volume 2. And before we get started, let's just kind of review what we talked about yesterday. We cut out the stuff and put it in our journals, our composition books. If you're going horse to fly, you're going to multiply. In other words, if you're going from a large unit to a small unit, a horse to a fly, the operation you're going to use is multiply. If you're going from a fly to a horse, you divide, of course. Okay, so that's all really you do. Now sometimes when you have remainders, you have to deal with them. Sometimes you have to do 2 steps of multiplication or 2 steps of division. If you're going from, say they want to know how many, if you have a gallon, how many ounces that is, you have to go from gallons to quarts, quarts to pints, pints to cups, and then finally cups to ounces. So you may have to multiply a few times, but it's either multiply or divide. And so we're going to start off doing number 1 in your book, page 477. And the problem is, right here, 3 miles, oh, sorry, you can't see that, right here. All right, 3 miles equals how many yards? 3 miles. And MI is the abbreviation for miles, equals how many yards? Now, the first thing you do is decide, are you going horse to fly or are you going fly to horse? And miles are a lot longer than yards. So we are going horse to fly. So we're going to multiply. And so we take the number they give us, 3, and we make our multiplication problem, just like that. We don't know what we're multiplying by yet. We're going to have to check our star chart, but we know we're using 3 because it said 3 miles, so we're multiplying by 3. Now, we've got to find our star chart, and by the way, there is one in the back of your book, the very last page, and like we talked about, it gives you what I call your conversion units. In other words, you're going to figure out how many yards in 1 mile. And to find that, you look in the chart. It says 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. That 1,000, what it's equal to, that is what you're multiplying by. That is what I call your conversion unit. So we're going to multiply by 1,760. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 6 is 18. Put down your 8, carry your 1. 3 times 7 is 21. Add your carried 1, 22. Put down your 2, carry your 2. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. Your answer is 5,280, which coincidentally is how many feet in a mile. All right, number, oh dang, I lost my place. Hold on, 477. Let's do number 4. let's do number, let's go from smaller to larger. So let's do number 3. And, well, yeah, number 3 will be good. That one is feet to yards. So we're going to do number 3. Number 2 is a smaller inches to larger feet too. So our question is 3 feet. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. The question is number 3. How many feet is equal to 8 yards? Now this looks a little different because up here our miles were on the left and here our yards are, the blank is on the right. But it doesn't matter. You can flip this around if you want and put 8 yards is equal to how many feet. The whole point is you're going from 8 yards to feet. They want to know feet. Now, first thing you do is ask yourself, is it larger to smaller? Is it horse to fly? Or is it fly to horse? Look, take a look. Yards are bigger than feet. They give you the yards. That's what they give you, 8 yards. They want to know the smaller feet. So they give you the big one, horse. They want to know fly. You're going to multiply. So before you even know what you're going to multiply by, you take this 8, come over here, draw your multiply line. Now, you look on your star chart and you ask yourself, how many feet in 1 yard? That is what I call the conversion unit. That's what you need to convert. So I look on my star chart and I see 3 feet is 1 yard right here. It's on the very last page of your math book, or you can use a star chart, or you can use our journal that we did yesterday. But we are multiplying by 3 because there are 3 feet in 1 yard, and my answer is 24. 24 feet. All right, now let's go and let's do one of the ones that are a little different. Down number 10 on page 477. Keep losing my place. And that one, it says use less than, greater than, or equal to. Whenever you see the word in math, the word compare, you're going to either use the following. Less than, that means the small side goes to the small number, big side goes to the big number. That's how you do it. And so we're going to do less than, greater than, or equal to. And we're going to do number 10. 2 miles equals 3,526 yards. $3,526 yards. Ugh. All right. Now, I could either go from smaller yards. They give me both. All I'm trying, well, I don't know if it's equal or not. I shouldn't have put that there. We've got to fill in the circle with one of these up here. So I can either divide, go from smaller to larger and see if it's 3 miles. Or I can do miles to yards and see if 3 miles is this many yards. I don't know about you, but personally I find multiplication easier. I just think it's an easier thing to do than divide. Most kids do, I think. But you may be different. If you want to divide, then you're going to take 3,526 and you're going to divide it by 1,760. So good luck with that, but you're welcome to do it if you wish. I'm not going to. I'm going to convert 3 miles to see if it is this many yards. It may be. It may be less. It may be more. But I know from miles to yards, I'm going horse to fly, so I'm going to multiply. What am I going to multiply by? Well, I already know from my problem number 1 that 1 mile is 1,760 yards. But in case I forgot, I can always look on my star chart. It's in the back of the book, or you have a star chart there at your desk. Everybody should have one. But it says that 1 mile is 1,760 yards. It says that right here. 1 mile equal. That's your conversion unit. That's what you're going to multiply 3 by. 1,760. All right. So we're going to see 3 miles, which, by the way, we already did it up here, so we should know what it is. But we're doing it anyway. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry your 1. 3 times 7 is 21 plus 1 is 22. Carry your 2. 3 times 1 is 3 plus my carried 2 is 5. So 3 miles, I can replace it with 5,280. Now, we have to decide, is this less than, greater than, or equal to? In other words, I know they're not equal. I know 5,000 is more than 3,000. So I put the big side to the big number and the little side to the little number. All right. And I hope they're getting a little easier. And this is how you do all conversions, whatever you're doing. If you're doing customary or metric, if you are doing pounds or cups and quarts or pounds and ounces or inches to feet, no matter the unit, you do the same thing, multiply or divide. So let's take a look at one where you have number 15. It's just a little bit different. This time you have some leftover feet. So you have got 5 yards, 2 feet, and you want to compare it to 200 inches. So is it going to be less than, greater than, or equal to 200 inches? And again, if you want to divide this, if you want to go from 200 inches to how many yards, you're welcome to. You can divide all you want, that'd be great. But for some reason, I find it easier to multiply. So I'm going to go from yards to inches. Now on your star chart, it doesn't give a direct conversion from yards to inches. You have to go through feet first. It tells you how many feet in a yard, and then it tells you how many inches in a foot. So that's the way we're going to do it, because when you do take your star chart, that's all you're going to have. Your star test, that's all you're going to have is the star chart. There is an easier way to memorize that there are 36 inches in a yard, but I want y'all to know how to do it without having to memorize anything, with just being able to use your star chart for reference. So on your star chart, it tells you that there are 3 feet in a yard. We already saw that for number 3 up here. So 3 feet in a yard. So I'm going to convert yards to inches, and that is going from horse to fly, a teeny tiny fly, and this a lot smaller. So we're going to not just multiply once, we're going to have to multiply twice, and I'm going to walk you through it very carefully and slowly so it'll make sense. So the first thing I'm going to do is convert my 5 yards to how many feet? And I'm going horse yards to fly feet. Yards are bigger than feet. Horse to fly, we're going to multiply. I'm going to come over here and do 5 times, and we already looked up on problem number 3, and we saw there are 3 feet in 1 yard, so that's my conversion unit. That's what I'm multiplying by. I got this 5 from the problem. I got this 3 from the star chart. It says 3 feet in 1 yard. Now, 5 times 3 is 15. Now, I've got these 2 feet that I have to take into consideration. So I'm going to add those 2 feet right now. That gives me 17 feet altogether. 15. 5 yards is 15 feet plus these 2 feet, and I've got 17 feet altogether. Now I'm going to take these 17 feet and convert them one more time. I got to do one more step down to how many inches, seeing if it's less than or greater than 200. It's the same procedure. I'm still going from larger to smaller. Feet are bigger than inches. And I've got horse to fly, so I'm still going to multiply. This time I'm going to use 17. Just like that. Now I've got to look and see on my star chart how many inches in 1 foot. So, and you can use the back of the book, or hopefully you have a star chart at your desk. If you don't, they're a ton back on the back desk. Look right here. How many inches in 1 foot? It tells you. Most of you have this memorized anyway, you should know this. But I want you, if you have any question, or if you're in doubt at all, use your chart. 12 inches. 1 foot is 12 inches. That's your conversion unit. So that's what I'm going to multiply by. And now I start multiplying. 7 times 2 is 14. Put down my 4, carry my 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. Kiss that goodbye. Hug and wave goodbye. And now I do my tens digit, my 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. And I have everything nice, neat, lined up. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 2 is 10. I carry my 1. 204. So 17 feet, or 5 yards plus 2 feet, is 204 inches. Now, is that greater than, less than, greater than, or equal to 200 inches? It is greater than. All right, I'm going to do one more. One of your challenge problems on the back, and y'all need to get in the habit of doing these kind of problems, because all questions are at least 2 and 3 steps on your March test. So we got to get in the habit. We've got to get in the habit of trying to work through them. And let's take a look at the multi-step problem number 22. Tyler's older brother, Joseph, is 5 feet 6 inches tall. I'm going to write that down. 5 feet 6 inches tall. I'm going to write that down. That's brother. This is number 22. 5 feet 6 inches. Remember, that little slash means feet, and that little slash means inches, and that's brother, older brother. Okay, now, Joseph is 16 inches taller than Tyler. So Tyler's older brother Joseph is 5 feet 6 inches. Joseph, that's Joseph, the older brother, is 16 inches taller than Tyler. How tall is Tyler? So in other words, 5 feet 6 inches is 16 inches taller than Tyler. Now, you've got to subtract 16 inches from here. So there are a couple of ways to do this. I'm going to convert, first of all, one of these feet. I'm going to borrow one of these feet and add it to these inches and then subtract. I'm going to do it 2 different ways. I'm going to do it that way, and then I'm going to convert this to total inches and then subtract, but then you got to reconvert back. So here we go. First, I'm going to come right here. 5 feet 6 inches minus 16 inches. Now, I can't take 16 inches from 5 feet. I can't take 16 inches from 6 inches. And I cannot pretend that this is 56 inches, which some kids would go 6 minus 6 is 0, 5 minus 1 is 4. You can't do that either. You can only add or subtract units in the same unit. You can't take inches from feet or inches from, or feet from inches, or you've got to get them in the same unit. So I'm going to borrow a foot. If you'll think back to when we borrowed 1 from a fraction, it's very similar. So I'm going to borrow 1 foot. Now 1 foot that I just borrowed is equal to 12 inches. I'm going to take that 12 inches over to this one, and I'm going to add it to the 6 inches that are already there. So I've already got 6 inches, and I borrowed 1 foot. 12 plus 6, that's 18 inches. So 5 feet 6 inches is 4 feet 18 inches. I took 12 inches, 1 foot I borrowed. I converted that 1 foot to 12 inches, and now I'm going to add it back over here to the 6 inches that are here. 12 plus 6 is 18. Now I can subtract inches to inches. 18 inches minus 16 inches is 2 inches. And then 4 feet minus 0 feet is 4 feet. So that means that Tyler is 4 feet 2 inches, which in this case is A. Now, I know y'all are all going to want to just bubble away, bubble A, and say, yeah, I got it right. I bubbled A, I'm going to get it right. If I don't see this work on your paper, you're getting it wrong. You have to copy my work. Now, if you choose to do it this way, copy it this way. There is a different way you can do this problem. Some of you may have thought a different way, and I'm going to show you another way. The brother is still 5 foot 6 inches, which is still 16 inches taller than Tyler. Joseph is still 16 inches taller than Tyler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this whole thing to inches. I'm going to subtract the 16 inches once I get it all in inches, and then I'm going to convert it back to feet and inches. So here we go. It's a little bit more steps, but if you have a hard time borrowing a foot, might be the way to go. So I'm looking at how many inches here. 5 feet 6 inches. So I'm going to convert first. My 5 feet is equal to how many inches? I'm going from feet. I'm going to use the FT instead of the little slash. Feet to inches, larger to smaller. So I'm going to horse to fly, multiply. And I already know there are 12 inches in a foot. Hopefully you know this right off the bat. This is one of your facts you're supposed to have memorized. 5 times 2 is 10, carry your 1, 5 plus 1 is 6. So 5 feet is 60 inches. Now I'm going to add, he's not just 5 feet, he's 5 feet 6 inches. So really, Joseph is 66 inches. 60 plus 6 is 66 inches. And Tyler is 16 inches less. So Tyler is 50 inches. Now, to find my answer, I'm going to have to now go from 50 inches to how many feet? And I'm going fly to horse, and we're going to divide, of course. We're going to put 50 in the division box, and you're going to look how many inches in 1 foot. That's 12. I know my facts. I know that my multiples of 12 are 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. Well, 60 is too many. So I'm going to use 48, 4 times 12. So, of course, 12 can't go into 5. 12 goes into 50 4 times. 4 times 12 is 48. And my remainder is 2. So I have 2 inches left over. So he would be 4 feet tall and 2 inches. 4 feet 2. And again, that's A, like we found a minute ago. So either way you do it is great. And that's how you would solve that problem. And I hope you can figure out the rest. Good luck.